Thanks for joining us for another Dallas Anime Meetup podcast. My name is Corey, and joining me as usual are my co-hosts, Justin,
Hey.
Nick,
Hello.
and Jamar.
Hey.
And because it's been so long since we had an episode and a lot of news has accumulated, we're just going to skip kind of like the introductions and what we've been doing this time. Long story short, just because of the holidays and unfortunately natural disasters and stuff, it's been hard to like get everybody together for recording, so we're just going to jump right into the news. You want to talk about some of the miscellaneous news that's been going on?
Yeah, let's get through some of this stuff pretty quickly. So unfortunately, you guys have probably already heard, Dallas is a city in the state of Texas.
Yes.
Maybe you didn't know about this.
I've heard of it.
Oh, dang. So yeah, people have been saying now with Texas, the virus has more reproductive rights than women in Texas. Now, like, we want to preface this section, Dallas Anime Meetup does not endorse any political party or have any affiliation, of course. But there's just been a ton of crazy stuff going on. The COVID wars in our legislation. Greg Abbott versus Clay Jenkins, and they're putting a restraining order on a ban, on a mandate. It's just all been really crazy. But it turns out what's highest, the most important, biggest law of the land is actually school boards and their dress codes. We've been able to get around a lot of these mandates and all this stuff by just like local school boards, like saying, hey, you got to wear a mask in class or when you're going to different between your classes in the hallways and stuff. And apparently that's like overrides like all these laws and all these mandates and stuff. So that's been just super crazy. As of September 1st, 666 new laws went into effect. That maybe some of them
sound like an intentional number.
It was very suspicious, I gotta say. Like, maybe some of them you've heard about, but like, and usually this stuff happens every year, every legislative period. But this is like the largest number in many years. Some of them are just kind of convenience stuff and things like, so HB 1518, you can buy alcohol 10 a.m. instead of noon on Sunday mornings now, which is like, okay. You can also buy it through like food delivery apps, Grubhub and stuff. You can order beers, I guess. This overturns a prohibition era law that we've had since 1935. So it's like,
it was much
interesting.
needed.
Honestly, during the pandemic and everything, yeah, I'm sure that will be nice. But then there's been some other kind of more questionable ones. HB 1927 is open carry anywhere, even grocery stores, even in churches, and you don't need to have any license or any training or anything. And that was even advised against by the NRA, by the National Rifle Association. They're like, yeah, this is crazy. This is not going to be really safe. So far, there hasn't been any shootings or anything like that, but if there were, we got another law for that. So HB, so that means House Bill 103 has now established an active shooter alert system. So apparently you may end up getting a notification on your phone if you're in the area of a shootout, which is very unfortunate, but like,
that
people
what the
should be aware of
notification
it.
is?
Yeah,
no,
that
No,
notification.
checking my phone
it
now.
was just
I
Vanguard.
feel like every city should have something like that, regardless, though.
It
Like,
seems like
yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
a good technology
an
and stuff,
Amber
but
Alert
maybe
rather
I know,
than
we have an
look
Amber
for a
Alert.
white
Amber,
Toyota.
clear, blue, yellow.
It'd be
Rather
way
than
more
look for a
useful than
white
some other one.
Toyota or something, like active shooter in your area, that's a little bit more informative. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh no, probably get mocked on YouTube. Like what people expect you to do during a shootout alert. It's like,
Oh no.
But I mean, with the open
What do you
carry,
do?
you don't have to worry about active shooter because everybody has 100% chance of having guns to defend oneself.
Yeah, that's how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah,
Does that
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
make things better?
yeah. I mean, if everybody has guns, everybody's safe.
If everyone has superpowers, then no one
Self-enforce.
has superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I know my history with Persona, having a gun in church is very useful for
It's like
going
Akina's
to shot.
Journey,
Oh,
Akina's
yeah.
Journey world or the country.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
those people were smart.
Yeah, and they
Right.
had training.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like a lot of the violence is just from people leaving their guns out on the dining room table and
On
the
the
baby
bar.
living it
Yeah.
out. And it's just I'm just worried. I don't know what the best. I don't think that there is a great solution to this, but just something you should be
Eh,
aware of. Maybe
if anything,
don't
it'll
cut
be
people off in
educational.
traffic. But yeah.
I guess
Anyway.
I'll just wrap up on that part. I like if you need a gun, at least get training so you know how to use it.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Because so many people end up shooting themselves, dogs shooting owners, babies shooting parents.
Yeah, and
Just be smart.
For
exactly.
sure.
Yeah.
Even more fun stuff though. House Bill 3979 limits teachers from discussing current events and things like systemic racism, and
Hmm.
which really doesn't make any sense because we're living through historical, unprecedented times. Stuff like the statues, Confederate generals getting taken down, and it's like apparently if teachers, social studies teachers and stuff, it's not really your math teacher is going to be talking about this, but
'Cause
if they
teachers
even
have too
mention
many
this,
liberties. I mean, way
yeah,
too
like
many.
the parents can like complain and get teachers fired and stuff just for mentioning this stuff, which is
You
like
don't want
why?
to make
Which
the
they
kids
could before,
mad.
anyways, but now they have a specific thing to quote.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But was it they don't want to make the kids sad and stressful, and
Yeah.
we don't want to hurt
yeah.
our like Justins of the world
Uh,
with like the truth because we can't handle the truth apparently,
Because like this
even though
stuff
we
doesn't
lived it.
exist. Yeah, when they graduate high school, what is does this just make racism disappear if you don't teach it? And I don't even
Or
know.
like I guess the big thing is if you leave Texas, you have like no knowledge of what actually happened in America.
One
Yeah,
big private school.
Yeah,
right.
homeschool.
Yeah,
Gosh,
basically.
it
Yeah.
feels like that. So even more fun stuff. SB 8 is the abortion ban and private citizen reporting. Oh gosh, so you can sue doctors that provide these services. It's been compared to women's rights in Afghanistan, for Christ's sake. But then the hosting websites where you would go to apparently report women or report doctors, those have been shut down within like 24 hours. No one wants to host that website. The federal government is like countersuing, but then the Supreme Court is like, no, we don't want to do that. So this may be something that ends up getting tied up in the courts for years. States and like other businesses have been considering like pulling their business out of Texas. Usually Texas is like pretty good in terms of like taxes and other stuff. That's why it's attractive, why businesses want to have headquarters here. But now the same thing is kind of happening like when Hollywood was started to boycott Georgia in 2019. It turns out over a similar thing about abortion. Like they stopped wanting to film their movies and stuff there until like everyone had better equal rights and stuff. Um, so we'll see. The last one then was a set of Senate Bill 1 and House Bill 3, which is restricting voting rights because we almost went blue back in 2020 and
Can't
it
have
got
that.
too close, apparently. I feel like it's this one, they're not as bad as some people were making them out to be, though, but it's things like we can't have 24-hour drive-through voting places, anything like that. Polling places are going to close at 10 p.m. now instead of midnight. They're going to open earlier though to maybe make up for that at 6 a.m. The early voting is now you can have early voting places in cities with population less than or at least 55,000. Previously, you had to have a town of 100,000 to be able to qualify for early voting. So it brings early voting to more rural places, supposedly. Um, Political parties cannot mail out ballots to registered voters. You have to specifically request them, which I guess was going on a lot during this last election. And then the last one is like there's going to be more autonomy for self-proclaimed poll watchers at different places. So they have now free movement. They can go around the different polling places, like everywhere, except for literally like standing right behind you when you're like filling out the ballot, which is just like really creepy and really gross, and I don't like it. But that's what we got, and you should be aware of. So if next time you go vote in your local elections or whatever, if there's someone walking around there that's like not an election official, that's what is happening. That's what we got now. Texas is already one of the states with the lowest voter turnout in the country. Abbott himself was actually only elected by 18% of the state's eligible voters, and we're currently ranked 44th in terms of voter turnout. Oklahoma is the 50th state, if anyone was curious, back in the 2020 election. But to go from this kind of sad current events into maybe even more sad, but maybe fun future events, the Tesla bot was announced recently by Elon Musk and Tesla. So they started off their kind of conference that was called the Tesla AI Day. This happened just back a couple weeks ago, proclaiming that they are not a car company anymore. They are actually now the largest robotics company in the world, claiming that all of their cars are kind of the self-driving AI, and so that qualifies them as robots because a robot, by definition, is something that can take in information and then make a decision based on its internal rules or logic. So self-driving cars are robots, but it's like your dishwasher isn't a robot unless it can sense how dirty your dishes are or something. But they revealed their new D1 processing chip. I've heard that they're trying to like find ways around the global chip shortage by like making them out of other materials and stuff. But this D1 chip will definitely bring together a lot of their computer vision and machine learning technologies. But this Tesla bot was the biggest announcement of the thing. That's pretty much like a whole life-size robot, and it's like I've seen, like iRobot the movie. I've seen Blade Runner, Chobits, Cyberpunk 2077. Like I know where this goes. Like
Have you seen
Detroit
Ex
Become
Machina?
Human. I have seen that one. Plastic Memories. Like it's kind of the face. It looked just like the iRobot almost, except the head is like black and the rest of it is all like white.
Mhm.
And it was just so like eerie that Elon kept mentioning like, oh, it's only 125 pounds and it can only walk 5 miles per hour, so you can easily overpower it. Like, why did he had to specify you could easily overpower it if you weren't worried about something like that
until he
happening,
gets
Elon?
hacked.
Yeah, that's
Like,
definitely what's going to happen. But what are your guys' thoughts?
right, like looking at the specs on it, like I could take it down as long as it's not hacked or catches on fire like most Tesla
Removes like
products.
the limiters on it.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like people could just replace like the servos or like get bigger motors. There's gonna be
Oh,
all kinds of like underground like mods for your Tesla bot. I mean, I don't even actually want to go down that way,
but
but
I guess the thing is we don't know the actual maximum because they just released these numbers. We don't know how far these servos, and actual parts could go. Because just like cars, they release a basic number. What you've seen with either the modifications or just unlocking the ECU leads to like greater results. So
yeah,
Mhm.
definitely people are gonna be overclocking these things. And it's like he kind of mentioned during the conference that it was gonna be smart enough to just tell it, hey, Tesla bot, go get my groceries, and it would be able to like get in its self-driving car, drive to the store, pick out the stuff, and take it back to, which is
I'm sure
a
there's a
lot of
bright side to it. I mean,
yeah.
like maybe they could get groceries for disabled people or like uh
but that's what Uber Eats does and Amazon.
like
There definitely will be good parts
could
to it.
use for
Yeah.
like defense, I guess.
Is that a good side or bad side?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
But yes, I get
they
what you're
already
saying.
have like uh drone warfare anyway, so it's more like reduce casualties in a way, and you could just have autonomous warfare.
Yeah, and that's also been one of
But
the
that could go
biggest
really south,
criticisms.
really
Yes.
Right.
fast.
There's been animes about that.
I think I've seen a couple.
And
But the
I had one
biggest
for a
thing
discussion
too.
recently.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
But I guess does that mean
86.
does 86 or Boston
or
Dynamics
Persona
will
3.
be our saviors against Tesla?
Ooh, I can see that future. So interesting that you brought them up too. Elon Musk liked a tweet by, I don't know why I know all this. I've been following this too closely. He liked a tweet by Boston Dynamics putting out a video about their robots like 2 days before the Tesla's AI conference reveal of their Tesla bot. So it's like he knows, he's been following Boston Dynamics, and some other robotics companies and stuff. So he's trying to get into this market, and he's doing some research, supposedly, according to Twitter. But the biggest complaint is just like, why does the primary purpose what he was selling it for was that it'd be for like picking, it'd be for like lifting boxes, doing this sort of manual labor and stuff. But there's really no reason for the robot to have a humanoid robot to do that. It's like if you want a robot to do your vacuuming, like you don't need to get a vacuum and then get a human robot to like do the vacuum.
There's
It's
reasons.
all it's all marketing.
There's reasons
Yeah,
you don't have to pay robots.
That's why you have a Roomba for. Just build the robot into the vacuum itself. You don't need to have a whole humanoid to do that. But
Jeff Bezos doesn't have to pay robots. They don't have rights either.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
so it's
But again,
crazy.
like to answer your question, it's more of a marketing gimmick because people feel comfortable with something that's almost similar to you.
Like domesticated kind of
Yeah.
look. Yeah.
Because if you look at like auto assembly line, I think Volvo, they use robots, and the robots look like something that just build cars. They're not humanoid. They're like a big arm.
Yeah, the arm
that
big
moves
mechanical.
cars. Yeah, and I believe it killed somebody one time.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, this was like 4 or 5 years ago. But you don't need it to look like humanoid. It's all more of a
Then-
marketing gimmick. Unless this is going to replace Tesla's workforce in the gigafactories.
So these
Yeah,
are
probably.
questions, that we can be asking.
Or like it'll be a
almost.
slow integration, of course. It's like only for this task, only for
Oh,
this
they're-
task, and then they're
Yeah,
just gonna like
They're going to be
kinda amp it
millions of
up
dollars. Yeah.
slow.
And a
Did they
week
talk
later.
about the ERP options to the robot?
So I did watch a video. It may not be exactly what you're wondering, but that was basically comparing. So, because you got to remember, if this is going to be replacing a person that needs to stop and take breaks and eat food and have dental and all this stuff, they pretty much figured out. I think it was in just like 1 or 2 years that even if the price of a Tesla bot was like at the highest end of the estimated range for the types of chips and stuff, that because it would only need to charge maybe 1 or 2 hours a day and be able to work for the other 22 hours.
That is not what ERP means.
I definitely missed what you were asking then. Sorry.
ERP means erotic role playing.
Oh, I was definitely thinking of like a business term. Yeah,
Good job.
I don't have an answer for that one. Need to watch some more of these
When
animes.
do the robot cat girls come in, Elon? That's
Right,
what
that's-
everybody really wants to know.
He failed
Oh,
us
no.
on the cat girl biological
He-
development.
don't
So
think
He,
Still
he
there.
lied to us. And honestly, cat girls are. Let's be honest.
They're
People,
not even in fashion anymore.
We're past
no,
cat girls.
No.
the thing with cat girls is that when people say they want cat girls, they just mean girls with cat ears and a tail. When reality, if we got cat girls, they'd be the one from the cat that got off a Cats movie.
Oh,
It's moved.
yes. No.
So that's
That's the
the
one-
best transition I could ever
Yeah.
have dreamed.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
need I think that's a good transition to anime news.
That's pretty much all that I got. Yeah.
Yeah, and so anime news. So so I'm just gonna go through a few quick announcements. We got JoJo part Stone Ocean, I believe. It's
Yes.
that's part 6. That's
Right.
coming. That's gonna be a Netflix release. The details of it are a little sketchy on how Netflix is gonna release it though. Apparently, they're gonna release every 4 episodes each month. Which I guess kind of makes sense because you have to give them the episodes ahead of time in order for them to sub it in the 16 different languages that you need. That's kind of the reason why Netflix doesn't do simulcasting, is because they want to sub and dub it in all those languages, and that takes time, and you need to have the episodes beforehand to do that. So, but apparently JoJo will be released monthly whenever that comes out, but I don't know how that release format's gonna work. We'll probably talk a little bit more about Netflix later, but also I think Netflix acquired a really critically acclaimed. There's apparently an anime adaptation that's going to be on Netflix of a really critically acclaimed manga called Blue Period. I have no idea what it is. I just looked it up on the and on the ranking sites and found out it has like it's one of the highest rated manga right now. And but yeah, Blue Period. I think it has. I think it's some kind of like it's. I don't know what it's about, honestly.
It's
So I
not
didn't look
perfectly.
at it.
Heard of Blue Gender.
Yeah, I know Blue Gender, but Blue Period is apparently the biggest shit in the manga world right now, and I have no idea why.
Signing. So.
Can I type this in Bing search without being scared?
You might have to do Blue Period manga. You might have to add the manga.
Too late.
Because you
don't use Bing to search things. Just
why are you
use
using
Google.
Bing?
He has to. It's a Microsoft.
Yeah.
employee.
There's a
Also,
Good evening, Jamar. How can I help?
Thanks, Cortana.
that was Google.
Anyways, we got moving on. We got a second season of Shadow's House coming out for people who enjoyed the first
cool.
season. Yeah, we've got the sequel manga to Fairy Tale's 100 Year Quest has got an anime announcement. So if people are interested in that, they'll be getting to see that. And Momar Hosada's new film Belle has grossed in a ton of money. Apparently, this is his newest big work, and from what I've seen, it looks to be different from his previous works, which makes me more interested because his recent movies have been kind of samey. So hopefully,
it looks good.
So hopefully this is a lot different from his previous films, because he's kind of stuck on the same story for like the past 2, maybe 3 films. And Demon Slayer apparently will be coming next season, but that announcement was super late. The new season Demon Slayer. So I have no idea why they announced it so late. But Ufotable Table doesn't usually slack off. So maybe there was just some behind the scenes thing I don't know. And of course, there's Platinum End, the new manga by the Death Note guy is getting an anime adaptation. Although I have not heard a lot of hype for it. There's the second core of 86 will be, I think that's next.
That's coming up soon, I think.
Yeah, it should be. And for someone nobody cared about, Sony is streaming the Blade anime on YouTube. Woo! Why?
Is Wesley Snipes doing the voice?
No, of course. That was one of the many things that was wrong with the Blade anime.
Yeah, it used to be on Netflix, I think.
Yeah.
Like way back when.
I know.
Did he get out of jail?
Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, he didn't pay his taxes.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't kept up with Wesley Snipes, and I haven't
Who
seen...
does these days?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like, what's Wesley Snipes doing? It's like, you might as well try to ask, what's Matthew Broderick doing these days? Nothing. Or Tim Allen. But I digress. Okay, and anyways, let's go to the somewhat big news. So you guys obviously should know by now about the Crunchy Funimation merger that happened like last month or so. That got finalized last month or so, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it seems we're seeing the effects of it because HIDIVE is leaving VRV, and well, does anyone use VRV for anything other than anime?
What even is?
I watched some
on there.
Stuff.
It's just like fan service stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, because they removed like the horror channel and such. Like Blood Disgusting.
Shudder left like
you Shudder left. You Shudder left a long time ago.
Yeah,
and all that because I liked it, but yeah, I mean, there's some other stuff I watch on there. There was like the that Dan Harmon Pathfinder show that I was watching.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's on there.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was on there.
I think Rooster Teeth's still on there.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth is still on there, but the problem with Rooster Teeth is that
content
it sucks.
Yeah, they haven't had anything new or good for like a while now. Because with all the behind the scenes problems they've been having, like it's just like it's very unlikely they'll be able to come back.
I think they
or at least if they will come back, not until they like do a major shakeup of the staff. Because with Monty Oum gone, it was kind of inevitable, but I'm surprised it took this long. To be fair,
yeah,
because Monty Oum has been gone for a long time.
Yeah, and the ship's been sinking ever since. So this is what's currently over Cartoon Hangover, Crunchyroll, High Dive, Mondo, Rooster Teeth.
Yeah,
And
I know the names of Mondo. I don't know what's on that though.
I never looked at it. I think they have Puppy Bee and Space Cat.
Oh, that's right. They
Yeah.
have they're the ones that have
that
Bee and
one?
the Puppy Cat and what's that? Bravest Warriors, the by Pendleton Ward.
That's on Cartoon Hangover.
Oh, okay, that's on Cartoon. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, the thing with Cartoon Hangover is that aside from maybe Bravest Warriors, like all the cartoon, it's just the Cartoon Network and Boomerang shows, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they had a lot of Boomerang shows on there. I
But-
don't know if they still got them, but
Yeah, like you can watch those on like
No, those left.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, well, you can watch those on like another streaming service like Hulu or HBO Max because HBO Max has like
Yeah.
all the Looney Tunes stuff now. It's like so they don't really have anything exclusive in that sense. I think aside from maybe Bravest Warrior.
If they
I
had
haven't
Funimation
checked.
in, it would be worth it. But them
Yeah,
both being
maybe.
the same, two different subscriptions doesn't make a lot of sense post merger.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like is Funimation going to come back just like it did when Verve first came out?
Yeah. It wasn't
Yeah,
when
I
it
mean-
first came out, but it came a little bit like I think a year in.
Yeah,
Or-
it
Oh,
came
yeah,
later.
maybe it
first came
was.
out.
Yeah, that's the
Or,
thing. Like,
yeah. Or
Yeah.
will they drop the whole Ver kind of
Well, they may drop it all together. I don't know.
because Ver hasn't been that like I would say successful.
No, I mean,
no.
it's been U.S. only for the longest time. It still is.
Yeah, I never
And it's
understood
like-
why it wasn't successful, but it just hasn't taken off. for
Yeah,
some reason.
Yeah.
people still would rather do a Crunchyroll. And now with High Dive gone, there's almost like no reason to subscribe for a more expensive subscription to Verve when you could just do Crunchyroll. Aside from
Or to High Dive.
or High Dive, which
Yeah.
which to be fair. I don't know much about High Dive's video player in the longest time because I haven't been there in a while.
But
I
yeah,
still-
I
I
wasn't
still-
crazy about it.
Other than the fact that it's outdated, a lot of all the anime streaming platforms. Let's be real,
Yeah.
they have not
Yeah.
updated. They're like it. Like I guess are they better? Would you say? Oh, well, first of all, do any of you actually own HBO Max?
I
have
do
it.
somehow.
Okay, like how would you compare? Because HBO Max is also notorious for being a pretty crappy platform
It's okay.
whose only redeeming value is the content it has because of the
The
bad
Ghibli
fast
movies.
Yeah, because because the fast every time I use that thing, the fast forward and such doesn't work very well. It takes so long to load when you like skip or fast forward or something on that. That's why I gotta use my Hulu connection to watch
Mhm.
HBO Max shows unless
Which
you
is
have
garbage.
Yeah.
Like I think to me, Hulu and Netflix and Hulu has the best overall.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
yeah. I
and
mean,
everybody else is right on the bottom.
I know Disney Plus, man. The fast forwarding
Oh,
in that
that
is
was a
bad.
nightmare.
Oh God, it's so bad, and
You'd
yeah,
think
that's
with all their Disney money, they'd be able to figure that out. But
yeah, you would think
Yeah.
so, but I mean to be fair, maybe it's just the lack of experience because they jumped onto the stream platform because they wanted to be a streaming platform. They didn't.
But again, it's Disney. Disney
Yeah.
money make things happen.
Well, yeah, but nah. And that's the thing. Like I said, will people even like subscribe to High Dive on its own? Because
think so.
Corey and I discussed this before. It does have good exclusive shows, but the problem, Made in Abyss is still on Amazon, and so is
They're
Land of the
mostly
Lustrous.
They're mostly
Yeah.
older shows.
I know that's why that's the problem though. They are old shows, and
Sentai tend like when it comes to a bidding war anymore. Like a couple years ago, it was different. You would see a nice split between Viz Media, Sentai, and Funimation on show acquisitions, but anymore, it's pretty much one-sided to Funimation for a lot of the
Yeah.
other ones.
pretty much these days. And that's the thing. Like people will probably ask, "Oh, what's wrong with just subscribing it for old shows?" I don't think you know how. I don't think you realize if you ask that. By the way, I don't think you realize that you need new stuff to get people to like get numbers growing. That's why
Yeah.
Angry Video Game Nerd still makes new episodes, even though they're goddamn horrible and nowhere near his previous stuff.
Yeah.
Because
and again, there's still a niche market for older stuff, and those if they could get the licenses for cheaper, go ahead. Like they're not gonna keep up with Sony with Funimation and stuff.
But the numbers are just not going to be high enough to support. Like you need new stuff, and what's the biggest thing High Dive has had recently? Redo of Healer, right? Like I think that's the only thing. Yeah, I'm not saying good thing. I'm saying biggest thing because that was a very popular anime.
It would have been good if they got the new Higurashi stuff since they have rights to the original and Kai.
Yeah, but nah, they didn't. That's Funimation.
Oh wait, so I'm looking at their exclusive content that they have. They
have Full Metal Panic. Wait, no, that's Funimation too.
That's Funimation.
So I'm just gonna read super quick. Big O.
Yes.
Beyond the Boundary series.
Yes.
Bloom Into You. Aurora.
Yes.
Aurora Battle. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, like they said, they have a lot of shows that they tend to get like the scrap shows that people like either don't remember or don't remember much anymore, and that's fine. I mean, they have Legend of Galactic Heroes,
Delinquent Hamsters.
But here's but who's actually the number of people who are going to be interested in those old shows isn't big enough.
Yeah, it's not. Especially
like
new anime fans, like seldom do they.
They want to watch current shows.
Yeah, they don't usually go back. Some do, but not enough to like make it a successful platform.
It's like that Boomerang channel that had all the old like Cartoon Network shows, but that's not something like it's neat, to have that library, or I guess library on TV. It's neat to like go back and watch them, but it's not something that I would like pay for if it wasn't already included with my.
Yeah, I know.
But I think we all know that High Dive's probably gonna get purchased since they're so small. Yeah, they'll get acquired later.
I think it's gonna be a Neon Alley repeat.
Oh yeah, poor Neon Alley. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Sentai does have some good shows, but it's like, but they're not getting anything new that would get people to like watch them solely. And like I said, their video player is outdated, so you're not gonna watch it for their video player and their site in general. It's just not. Like that's just not gonna work.
No, like I'm going through the list. It's like I remember watching this show back in like 2005.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be a Netflix, a Hulu. I don't think Sony could pull off trying to get in Sentai this fast after the whole Crunchyroll thing. But somebody's gonna purchase them all for like a couple of dollars, like a $5 burrito and like Netflix tickets or something.
Yeah,
all gonna come together.
Basically, you need new stuff to be popular, to like stay relevant. And like I said, High Dive's not gonna get it. And as for like the Crunchyroll Funimation thing, like I said, with Verve losing High Dive, it's like you might as well just subscribe to Crunchyroll then by itself for just like what $3 cheap. I forget how much cheaper is it at this point, because I know they've raised the prices a bunch these days, and I can't keep up. I'm not subscribed to any of the anime streaming services anymore either, so I don't know.
And again, I guess this is a question for you. What do you think gonna happen with the merger? Do you think Crunchyroll will just kind of fall into Funimation, since Funimation kind of been the giant that we all
Crunchyroll seems to be about $10 per month, if I'm looking at this right, for their premium ad-free version.
Think the way the merger worked is, since Sony owns both of them, they're separate subsidiaries. So there's either the work independently, or Sony decides to merge them into one.
And I know this is a shit answer, Jamar, but I really have no idea. People are hopeful that Crunchyroll and Funny would merge with each other so that the content will be like more available to them, because they don't want to, because people who actually wants to use Funimation's player willingly.
I don't
know who wants to use Crunchyroll player.
I know, but it's not Crunchyroll's player is majestic or anything. It's just that it's better than Funimation's.
I think if they do merge them, we're gonna lose a lot of stuff that Crunchyroll has branched out over the years. Like we'll lose Crunchy manga, which it already kind of sucks, but it's there if you want it.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna lose Crunchyroll originals, and I don't think Funimation's gonna. I don't think Funimation will do anything like that.
Yeah, Funimation.
well,
I
I think
think
they'll
they're
lose it.
originals.
But
Yeah.
they could, and they would have more resources to do it as a complete entity. But I don't think they would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind them work independently, or they like kind of separate series, kind of do what like a HBO or like a Cinemax did back in the days. They'll pit certain series on each platform, but I feel like Sony will just kind of take what worked in Crunchyroll and just move it into Funimation, or just move those series and licenses over.
Yeah, and from a corporate perspective, Funimation's worked more with that corporate mindset where I felt like Crunchyroll still felt like that indie sort of feel to it where they
Yeah.
would try things. They could like actually like Funimation never tried manga. They never tried getting originals. They never tried like the only thing they really did that was innovative in the past like 5 or 6 years was like the simulcasting, and it's awful. Like
Yeah.
most of the time they're rushed. They're rushed, and like the actual ADR directing's not good. The voice acting
Oh, you mean
kinda
the simul
sucks.
dubbing, right? You mean
Yeah,
simul dubbing,
simuldubbing.
right?
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simulcasting's fine, but the simuldubbing
Yeah.
was not good.
Most of the time, there are a few jams, but most of the time it's not
Yeah,
good.
it's
Yeah.
mostly missed because they got they're stretched so thin with their best voice actors that they have to put in new talent, which is good. But at the same time, if it's for a show that is very popular, you're gonna see it degrade in quality.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like, and innovation is just like it's so rough these days. I never thought I'd be in an age where I prefer Amazon's player, because back then Amazon's player was like I remember we bashed Amazon's player a bunch back when Anime Strike was a thing. But nowadays, like, not that Amazon's player is perfect. Like, the subtitle quality is obviously not great, but it has that thing where if you like move the mouse or pause the video when you're watching on TV, you can see the cast and what character they're associated with. That's a pretty cool thing.
Oh,
That's
like the other Amazon movies, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that's unique to Amazon that they have. That's pretty cool. It's nice, and I no longer have any problems with rewinding or fast forwarding or such on Amazon. So it's like, that's cool. At the same time, I'm glad Amazon isn't in the anime market anymore, because that was not because they did not treat anime well. They didn't sub videos well.
It was too much. There was too many platforms in those days. It was going to. You had to sit
Yeah.
there and like do some research on like who had what every season.
Yeah, so I'm glad they've done that, but at the same time, it's weird that I'm preferring Amazon's player to the Crunchyrolls or Funimations or High Dives, and that's one of the things that's I don't know much about like how anime legal streaming is going to turn out in the future, but I can definitely say that it is not going in a direction that I support, which is why I do not pay for any anime streaming services anymore. I just I'm still fucking subscribed to Disney Plus and HBO Max.
Justin,
Okay,
where are you getting your anime, huh?
Oh, Hulu. because
no illegal sources of any kind.
I will say the anime that aren't on Hulu.
They find their way into your folders.
Let's just say Google is your friend.
Nick, I'm gonna need you to write a letter to Abbott and to write a law in about anime legal streaming.
More legal routes.
Yes.
Get it done, buddy.
666 new
right, not a single one of them was about anime.
Might as well throw one of them.
Unacceptable. Like,
how dare Abbott, you might as well throw this in there. You're gonna go this far.
I mean, he likes signing bills and stuff.
He can do executive orders, whatever he want. Almost like Texas's power of executive order is like bigger than any other state. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. One time.
But yeah, I think that's everything we have to discuss regarding the whole streaming thing. That didn't get kickstarted, but the whole High Dive leaving thing, I really wanted to talk about it, the whole thing from that, because like I said, we're starting to see the effects now, and it's not looking great. Yeah, that's all the anime news that I want to talk about, guys. Want to get to the big one, or do we want to warm things up while we move to video game news?
I think we should move to video game. We've got a lot to cover.
I know, but which one should we start with first? Do we want to talk about the big one, or do we start with small?
I think we should talk about the big one about Game Boy games coming to Nintendo Switch Online.
Hell yeah! Well, okay, let's. So what do you? So I haven't actually heard about that. Like what?
Yeah, and it's just a rumor too. It's super.
Nintendo Life.
It's just so damn hard to emulate Game Boy games on the Switch. You know, I mean.
Like there's no hardware that could crack that code.
Super complicated.
I don't know how I got it working on mine.
It's just been really slow, the rollout of Nintendo Switch Online. Like we could be having Nintendo 64 games, we could be having GameCube games almost, but they're just like, no, we need, Luigi's Mansion.
GameCube it might not actually be able to do. I don't know.
Well, maybe they could just reverse engineer Dolphin onto the Switch.
That's probably what they would do, but
isn't that technically what they did for the Mario All-Stars thing? They just got emulated files and just like
yeah, they got like the worst ones they could find online.
It's just like with all
they
the talent
bigged it.
at Nintendo, the fact that their porting has been the worst, like out of any company in the big three, you know.
Well, there was the PS1 Classic. That emulation was awful.
I heard it was passable. I didn't hear it was awful, but I heard it was passable, and you could still like use it to put more ROMs on there if you wanted to.
Well,
you
actually fix it. You could fix it. That's true.
Yeah.
Same with the SNESic. You could put SNES ROMs on it, and it would actually upscale them. From what I've heard.
I've seen that when people put like Donkey Kong Country 2 on that thing.
Mm-hmm. Not that I would ever do that, Nintendo, though.
No, but I guess for you guys, when the Wii came out, I felt like we had a whole bunch of like 64 game, Nintendo, regular NES, Super NES, pretty fast. I want to say within the first 2 years
on the virtual console.
On the virtual console for Wii.
Yeah, I got like Ocarina of Time and Majora's
Yes.
Mask and like all these other games like on my Wii virtual console.
We saw Galaxy 1 and 2, Metroid Prime Collection, Kirby Return to Dreamland. They were making strides to get stuff, even though that was like the end of the Wii U life cycle at that point. They were getting stuff on there.
Yeah. I guess
now it's all shut down. It's like what?
Yeah. And I guess what's been what do you think's been the delay in the rollout on like getting these classic games? Because
COVID.
Nah, I don't think it's COVID related.
No.
I think they just don't have an initiative for it.
Yeah,
Nintendo.
I'm pretty sure that's the.
They don't think it'll make money.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It probably is, honestly.
Pessimistic, but
like, we've seen a lot of responses by like Miyamoto where he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I mean, they want to play new games."
Well, wasn't that Sony?
But where are the new games, Miyamoto?
These kids are just on their phones all these days, right? They don't want to play the classic
game.
Sony,
but
we just want to be on their phones.
It kind of echoes
has that kind of condescending sort of like interviews, you know. Whenever I listen to them, to where it's like, we know what's best for the player, and it's like sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but.
But I guess to your point, Justin, when you said COVID, you would think like getting those emulations over would be like a fast, easy break fix. Well,
they just
while we try to figure out getting AAA games out. But
I can see the COVID thing delaying like the new games or something. But when it comes to like the emulation stuff, it's like that's a little hard to defend.
Like, do you want to talk about the Marvel versus
the original Fire Emblem re-release?
Oh yeah, the limited
like
release
or something more than that.
No, actually, no, that was cheap, but it was a limited release.
Oh, so there was a there was a physical copy that was $60.
Oh, the physical copy. I did not know about that.
Yeah, and I was like, that's insane.
I'm like, I'm not paying that. I will pay.
And it wasn't even like a really nice release or anything. It was kind of like okay, but
they just copied the file and just moved it over to the server. Because I think I brought it was like $5, and I'm like, wow, this looks like Fire Emblem, and I'm not going to play this one anymore.
Yeah.
I guess in other news, free MVC2 been a thing for a couple of months now. So Maximilian, dude, been pushing getting Marvel vs. Capcom 2 re-release because that was one of the biggest games in the fighting community, and it's still popular. Like it lost a spot in Evo maybe 5-ish, 6-ish years ago from the main stage. It might have been some time, but it's been a beloved game. Like I still have the Dreamcast copy.
Nice.
God knows why. But it was re-released on like Xbox, PS2, and then it was pulled down. And it looks like the developers are thinking about getting it re-released because it's been retweeted so many times that it actually got people attention. But I think one of the biggest things is since the acquisition of Marvel for Disney, well, Marvel being acquired by Disney, is not all those characters that's in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 are Disney properties yet, because you still had Fantastic Four,
Who owns Fantastic
X-Men.
Four? Fox?
It's like Fox.
Yeah, I think it's still Fox.
Yeah, because you still have
X-Men, or is that Sony?
Well,
Sony.
Sony. Yeah, that's Sony.
That's still Sony. And again, which was one of the biggest reasons why Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite failed, because key characters like Wolverine, the X-Men weren't on the roster.
And didn't they lose a bunch of the There was also some issues with the Capcom licenses too, wasn't there? On the Capcom side?
Not on the Capcom side. It's more on Marvel because of how the Marvel license been split up multiple directions. But isn't talk about getting it re-released. I'm not sure if it's going to lead to another sequel after what happened with Infinite. But it'll be a good chance for people to like really relive this game. So
yeah, it would be great. Unlikely, I will say, but great.
Yeah.
I suck.
Yeah.
I mean, Capcom's doing well with their single
Monster Hunter.
Their single player games and all
I
that.
mean,
but
honestly,
we still have yet to see what they're going to do with their multiplayer.
The Capcom of right now has been, for the most part, good. Like,
they've been
beat for beat, like just hitting it on every franchise for the most part.
Yeah.
But on some other news, we had the Genshin 2.1 update while we didn't have an episode. It's been a lot of hit or miss for people. The fishing is draining, in my opinion. I hate it, but it's not awful. It's just it's way too grindy. Like you gotta catch so much fish to do stuff.
Is everything still trying to? Yeah, everything wants to kill you in that region.
It's so grindy.
Man.
We've had a good distribution of events to get up Primogems, so that's been nice. The two new islands were a lot of fun. I enjoyed exploring them and the puzzles. All the new enemy types are really tough. Comparatively to the other regions, like they've been amping it up. There's been a lot of new materials introduced. We had the introduction of Raiden Shogun, and Sarakujo, which is also from the story. So there's been a lot of controversy on Raiden specifically.
Really?
Yeah. Because what they did is she played differently in the beta. So for the most part, for the entire part of the beta, she her burst, which has her use a sword instead of her spear, was counted as normal and charge attack damage, so she would synergize with a lot of different things in the game, because normal and charge attacks work off a lot of other character skills and weapon skills. But when they went to release, they changed it in the patch notes to say it counts as burst damage, which is counter to other people who use similar stuff like Child. His skills count as normal and charge attacks when he uses his swords.
Yeah.
So them making this complete change to Raiden Shogun to where her sword counts as elemental burst damage, then that would mean that all the synergy that people were preparing for, that they heard from the beta via leaks, would would mean that they can't synergize with her anymore with like Bido, with a weapon, a 5-star weapon called.
Oh yeah, that's
the
right.
Silence
I
Hive.
heard Contras have that.
So a lot of people got pissed because they built up those things and acquired those things to be ready for Raiden Shogun, and then they couldn't use them.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time Mihoyo has like changed the character at the very last minute. It's happened quite a bit. But on top of that, there's been like some issues with her damage output because of this, and people just felt like they were a bit blindsided on it because they rolled for her and then found out after the fact that the patch notes are going to change it, and then
Doesn't she need like a really specific artifact set to be like really powerful?
Yeah, well, that's like most characters, but this one in particular, like she only really uses an energy recharge set that's very effective on her. So she went kind of like to a nuke support instead of like a main damage dealer previously.
Yeah, she's a support character. I know that.
But that and the C2 is kind of where you want to be at. You want to get Constellation 2 to like make her super effective compared to like being good at C0. Even though she's okay at C0, I think some people are just really upset about this. But and that's off the and that's coming off of Yoimiya's banner, which was she was an awful character.
Like, Yoimiya was not good.
Bad character.
Yeah, the only thing that's good about Yoimiya, from what I've seen, is that her arrows that she has that arrow attack that homes in on you, but it does low damage.
Yeah, so that is low damage, and her burst and her elemental skill don't synergize with each other at all. So it forces you to swap her out, which would be okay if the burst was actually good in the first place. So it's not.
Yeah,
but. So yeah, it's what I've heard is it's sort of those characters are a sort of signs to show that Mihoyo is kind of like pivoting the game away from the meta to try to get more characters that use different stats and change up gameplay styles to where not everybody has to go for crit rate, crit damage, and just flat attack and like. But we'll see. It's interesting, but yeah, there's been a lot of controversy on it, and we've gotten tons of Primogems from just like them changing stuff on Raiden Shogun and them being bugs, and
we're like, oh, we're sorry, we actually swapped these two around, or we didn't explain the skill all that well, and the skill already has like a paragraph of text explaining what it does.
The skill is like her burst is like 2-3 paragraphs, and you're just sitting there. What does Japanese word mean when she does Japanese word? But yeah, on top of that, they've been silencing people on the forums that talk out against Raiden Shogun. There's been a lot of posts that get a lot of traction, like 10k views and upvotes, and then they'll just disappear. Like I was following one, and I looked up the link again, and it was just gone. So it's been weird. Some real censorship going on.
There's that, and the leaker hunt decree. I'm sure you may have heard about. Like they're going after people's accounts on Chinese Bilibili, their version of
Which
YouTube.
They've been doing for a while, but
which
there's another initiative to get rid of them. So
this is like a whole nother level of like.
Well, I mean,
they got rid of that Honey Impact website then too, I think, or they're trying to get that shut down.
I don't think it's down yet, but they're trying to get them. And I mean, back in December of last year, they were going on the. They were on the hunt for leakers, and like YouTubers who were leaking up to that point were getting lawsuits sent to them. Well, cease and desist, and then would follow with a lawsuit. But yeah, so they're very serious about it, and yeah. Hopefully they don't go full China on us, and then I have to stop playing because I put way too much money into it.
Yeah.
But Nick, do you want to talk about that Pokemon Direct that I definitely watched?
Yes, I watched it too. I totally did not just watch the news highlights on Cerebi.net like everyone else does.
It's okay. I watched it 3 times, so I can cover for everyone watching it.
Sure
No, it's all right. But yeah, basically there was like 6 main things. So new stuff for Pokemon Unite, which I actually started playing for some reason. It's not that bad, but yeah, it's not the most mechanically deep game.
Yeah,
It's a
that,
Pokemon
that
game. It's
died on
supposed to be
Twitch,
easy.
didn't it? Like it was popular on Twitch for like a brief moment, then that's
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm still being able to find people that I can match to do games with. So until that like goes away, I'll keep playing. It may not be as popular as it once was, or a couple weeks ago, but there's new characters coming out for that: Blastoise, Sylveon, Mamoswine, and maybe some more. But we'll see. Then there's new stuff coming to Pokemon Go. Pokemon Cafe Mix, which was some other mobile game I never had, is now Pokemon Cafe Remix. I don't really care.
Never heard of that.
Pokemon Masters
I have it.
EX. I mean, it may be fun. It's like a puzzle
Where
kind of connect
is
for or
Pokemon Channel remake?
connect something. Oh, I don't know about
Where?
that. Yeah, that's what really everyone wants. We got the Pokemon Snap
Yeah,
remake.
yeah.
We need
I thought it'd
Pokemon
come
Channel.
right
That's the
after
next one.
Snap. Yeah.
Come on, guys. Pokemon Masters EX. Actually, that's kind of neat. I had that mobile game, but then I deleted it because it used up way too much memory. But it brings a lot of characters and gym leaders and trainers and stuff from the main games like all into this game, and then there's a lot of additional story content. They're all like voiced. When in the original games, of course, there's no voice acting. But if you have a favorite gym leader, or you really like N or other characters, there's a lot more in-depth lore and story and stuff that you can get from this mobile. It's a gacha game, but the actual important stuff was some news about the Diamond and Pearl remakes. So they showed off some more trailers, and it does actually look better than the initial reveal trailer. They actually have the shaders. This is something I think I maybe complained about. There's like you can have updated graphics and stuff, but if you don't really have like an intent, like a lighting direction and stuff, then it's just going to look very flat. But they actually they got some stuff figured out. There's going to be underground updates. Ball stickers are back. Then surprisingly, some even new features from recent games, such as trainer customization, is going to be there. You won't just be
What?
Pearl or what are their names, Dawn or Lucas. You can actually change their clothes. There's going to be new contests, and then following Pokemon too, like in the overworld, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Really little chibi sprites, but they're cute and it looks nice. And then the biggest big news is stuff about Legends Arceus. So apparently we're actually going to be playing in the Hisui region. It's not actually going to be called Sinnoh. It's really interesting. Like Sinnoh is not actually called Sinnoh, but then there's also going to be new evolutions of Pokemon such as Basculin and Stantler that somehow could only happen in this time period that happens a couple hundred years before the main series of games. Also, Hisuian forms of Braviary and Growlithe. That's super cute. So it's similar like to Galarian forms or the Alolan forms. You can ride around on some Pokemon. It's very Breath of the Wild-esque, but then also like very Studio Ghibli. You can like fly in the air with Hisuian Braviary. It's a very kind of more mature take in some ways. So you're part of like a survey corps. Like it said that it takes place in a time where like Pokemon and humans like weren't really friends yet. They were kind of like adversaries. Like you're kind of defending the town from some like rampaging. There's Pokemon with red eyes, and they'll attack you, the trainer, and then you can like pass out, like have to go back to the starting town or whatever. So it's very we'll see how in depth these mechanics actually are. There's been some changes to the battles and stuff too, so it's maybe more real time and strategy and stuff. But we'll see. The graphics still like aren't, comparing it to other like open worlds like Monster Hunter and stuff, it's still like pretty far leagues behind that. But maybe it's just the novelty of you get to play a Monster Hunter game but with Pokemon that it's probably going to sell really well. Oh, I know, great.
That's how you even bother to make it.
Like a lot of people are like saying this is what we've been waiting for, finally open world Pokemon. But we'll see. There's just some interesting characters and mechanics and stuff, and where the story will go. Is this really Team Galactic, in the past, or what's going to happen? We don't know. But it's interesting.
How about that PlayStation Showcase?
I did like it. Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
Yeah, I'll break down some of the stuff we saw on there.
Yeah.
So we're finally seeing something out of Lucasfilm's games, which is the newly formed studio for of like remnants of LucasArts. And
every time
Disney can't trust EA with Star Wars anymore, they're like, we'll fucking make our own studio. Okay.
Yeah, the thing with LucasArts and all that though is that ever since they used to be really like varied with their point and click stuff, and then they just started making Star Wars games, and that was all they did. And I was less like,
yeah, but this is a different studio than LucasArts.
Yeah.
It's and they're hitting it off strong with the Knights of the Old Republic remake. So we'll see.
I need to see the gameplay of that.
That is a legacy, so that is hard to keep up. And there's a lot of stuff that wouldn't age well. They would have to.
I know, I have no interest in the remake if they just like copy and paste.
Yeah, exactly.
Because for one thing, I own that version. Second of all, I played it so many goddamn times now. It's like why would I? It's just like no, I don't want to play the game again. And like I said, the combat and definitely the models have not aged well. But
ideally BioWare would do it, but BioWare's got enough on their plate.
Yeah. BioWare hasn't.
They can't be trusted with video games anymore.
Yeah.
With short.
Yeah, I'll have to pay attention.
New studio, well, like it's new to me on seeing a trailer from them is Shift Up Games. They're a Korean studio, and they showed this game called Project Eve. It looks really good. Like
that's the Korean Bayonetta, right?
Yeah, it looked like sort of like an action hack and slash, and everything was sort of like it looked like some weird like quarantine was going on. There's like a bunch of crazy like infected looking monsters. I don't know. It looks something like it was out of like Resident Evil or something, or there's just a bunch of crazy monsters in the background that you're fighting, and looks like some kind of virus. And like the Eve is like a recurring name in like virus games, like so.
Yeah, Parasite Eve.
Yeah, Parasite Eve. Codename Eve from Resident Evil 7.
They need to get more creative, with their naming. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes, we need
like
Eva.
Everybody named Eve is like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I saw Yoko Taro say buy this game on his social media when he saw the trail. Yes,
nice.
I think he saw the sexy girl and was like, buy this game.
That's interesting because we don't usually see Korean studios making single player games. It's usually like cash grab mobile games and like kind of meh MMOs. Not really meh MMOs, but transaction heavy ones. So I would argue that Korea is like one of the more untapped potentials in the game market to be like really huge if they ever decided to do more single player games, because their MMOs are so high budget and their mobile games are so high budget and nice. It's just they're blocked behind so many mobile transactions that they suck. But so this is really interesting. I hope it turns out well. So Gearbox Studios, we saw the Tiny Tina Wonderland footage. It looks solid. Whether or not the writing's good in comparison to Borderlands 3, we'll see. Because Borderlands 3, if you played it, the writing was bad, and we knew and loved those characters. The
dialogue and
was crap. Yeah.
The dialogue in the trailer made me go. Yeah.
Hey Corey, did you? Sorry to interrupt. Did you guys finish Borderlands 3?
I couldn't finish it. I got 75% of the way through it. Me and my group, and we were all feeling some burnout because the story was just getting so bleh. And it felt also that they gave you too much stuff. Like we were getting so many legendary weapons, they felt pointless and redundant at that point. And none of them like really felt really cool. I didn't stick with the legendary weapon more than like a level or two, so it didn't feel the same as Borderlands 2, which it shouldn't, but at the same time, like, what made Borderlands 2 special was nowhere to be seen. I don't know. What were your thoughts on it? Did you?
Not really. It felt like it overstayed its welcome, and the story felt like it was kind of written by a 12-year-old.
Yeah, they tried to be relevant with it, and I think a lot of the from a lot of the articles I've read on it, when they try to develop two villains at the same time, neither gets the development they need to move forward. So hopefully they can make a comeback with this. And at the same time, we're all older, and that Borderlands humor isn't really hitting anymore. So I don't know if it's me or it's their writing. I don't know who's to blame. I think it's a little bit of both.
I think it's more right. Like, I don't mind the game. I didn't mind the gameplay of Borderlands 3. It's just that the story and the dick jokes. It's like, yeah, I remember this, haha, 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's like
You
gotta grow. With
you gotta grow. It's kind of when you look at and we'll get back to the games. Like if you look at Grand Theft Auto from when it first began, or even if you look at Grand Theft Auto 3 when it went 3D and all the way to now, like it stayed relevant. The jokes,
yeah.
And again, it's all like who you have writing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like Gearbox hasn't really been. I mean, they've had so much shuffling around of their studio too. Like I was surprised this is even being published by 2K because I thought they got picked up or merged into THQ Nordic. I thought THQ Nordic was going to. I have to look that up. I thought
something happened with like 2K and Gearbox. Didn't Gearbox get brought out or Randy sold out?
Borderlands Studio bought by THQ Nordic. What I would imagine is they already had this in development, and the property stays with 2K. But going forward, Borderlands games and any other Gearbox properties are under THQ. So we'll see what this means. But it's not a foreign thing for Gearbox to like, especially it's been happening since the pre-sequel that their stuff's been kind of shifting around hands.
Yeah.
They had the Baby Metal song "Give Me Chocolate" in the trailer. That was cool. So I don't know if they were just trying to pull me in with that. So I was like, okay.
That's one of your favorite bands.
Yeah.
Not one of my favorite bands, but I was like, I like the song, so I was like, all right, you got my attention. My attention. But Luminous Productions, which not a lot of people know about. So this was formed in 2018 off of a lot of the key developers of Final Fantasy 15. Square Enix like branched it off as like a spin-off sort of independent subsidiary. So all the people that were integral in 15 went to Luminous Productions, and they've been developing this secret IP, which we saw some teasers of it. I don't remember, like Tokyo Game Show maybe in 2019. I don't remember when the last time I saw this. It's all Forspoken, but Forspoken is coming out spring 2022. Maybe I wouldn't rest everything on that, but it looks so good. Like it looks really, really clean. All the animations and the special effects. And I thought it was a really interesting take that they went with a game as diverse as that, especially out of Japan, because it's like it's like a girl who looks like maybe, like, I don't know the ethnicity, but she's like I don't know. I don't want to take a jab at it, but
you could just say ambiguous
person of color. But that, and there's a lot of women in that game, and like out of Japan, like diverse games like that are really uncommon.
Yeah, but they've been slowly kind of diversifying.
Yeah, but this is definitely like I thought this could have been a Ubisoft game almost. That it looks so adjacent from what they normally make. But I heard there's some Western writers on this, which may be part of it.
Yeah.
Wait. You're talking about? Are we talking about the actual game from them, Forspoken? Oh, that's the Isekai game, isn't it?
It looks like an Isekai, and she's got
the one
like,
where
wristlet.
Yeah, I saw that trailer, and it was basically like, oh my god! I'm like, oh god, I hate Isekai dialogue.
It used to be the Project Athena.
Project Athena, and
I think I've realized why I get put off by a lot of isekai. It's because I don't like it when people declare loudly that they're in another world and they compare it to.
Comparatively, like that's probably like they showed most of the footage they had ready, which is from the beginning of the game. So it's probably just like those bits. But also, Remedy Entertainment's back with an Alan Wake remake, which is going to be really cool because I loved Alan Wake. If you didn't know them, they also made Control. They made what was before Control? Quantum Break, which was Xbox exclusive.
We don't want to talk about that. That was a bet.
Some people liked it.
It was a weird experiment at hybridizing video games and live action show, and it didn't work very well.
Yeah, I only got halfway through it.
Experimental.
Yeah.
They were definitely back on track with Control. The only problem with Control is it couldn't control its optimization issues, but
Still can't.
It didn't run well on anything. But it made it a good benchmark for the new graphics cards because nothing could run.
Powerful.
Yeah.
So,
Still can't.
yeah.
No ray tracing.
We finally saw some more Ghostwire Tokyo footage from Tango.
Oh yeah.
No date, which was weird but kind of expected. Like the game's been like a little bit the development's been a little chaotic. They've had a couple people leave. So I really hope it looks as good as that trailer did because it looks super fun. It gave me like I don't even know. It was like it kind of looked like Dishonored a little bit. Like it had it's like that point of view and like how they were fighting reminded me of Dishonored, but there's no like actual stealth from the looks of it. But all the like yokai looked really crazy. I'm really excited. So it's gonna be fun. I hope.
Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo did look cool.
So
Although I did
a limited exclusive for PlayStation.
Yeah.
For now.
Limited,
Yeah, and with with my inability to get a PS5 right now, it's just like
it'll come to PC too, I think.
Or Xbox.
It'll come eventually to Xbox Game Pass because of their deal with Bethesda.
Definitely.
Since Tango's a subsidiary of Bethesda, but this is one of the last few PlayStation exclusives from Bethesda, so like in general, we may not see Bethesda games on PlayStation again.
Yeah.
So,
we may not even see Ghostwire.
Yeah, they may pull it from the store.
No, Elder Scrolls 6, I guess.
Eidos Montreal, we saw Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. It comes out October 26th. I didn't really care. Personally.
Nobody cares.
What did you see? The Guardians of the Galaxy game? I saw. It's just not interesting. Those have got to be the ugliest looking Guardians I've ever seen.
They look okay.
They're fine. You're just comparing them to the MCU.
No, I mean, like, in terms of, like, they just look really generic. Like, and in terms of designs and such like that. It's just like, The gameplay just looks passable from what I've seen.
Hey, as long as it sells for them, gotta pay for that licensing fee.
As long as it's not live service. Because that was the main problem with Marvel's Avengers.
It seemed like it was interesting, like they were trying to make it like, you're just Star-Lord and like the rest of your crew will like react to you or something.
But you can't control your party.
I guess that sounds cool as a concept, like conceptually, but like from a gameplay perspective, like maybe I want to be Gamora, like maybe I want to be these other cool characters with other powers, not just Star-Lord with his pew guns. Like that's
I don't know. It feels like a game. If I was like 7 and 8, I would still be excited for, and I think that's who they're targeting.
I guess because when I was a 7 and 8, I was playing games like Digimon World 2, and Digimon World 2, bad game.
And I was playing X-Men on the Genesis, which was notoriously bad. But
I played X-Men on Super Nintendo, and that was actually a good game.
I was playing Spyro.
Oh, Spyro, of course.
I mean, we all make bad choices in our life, but
whatever game has Rocket the Raccoon in it, that's the game I want to play.
So you want to play Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite then?
So
what?
There was also we saw some footage of Vampire the Masquerade, but not the one I thought it was. It was
not the new
Shark
one.
Mob AB, which I've never heard of, but it's a battle royale game with like in the world of Vampire the Masquerade, and I was so disappointed. It looked really cool for a second, and I was like, "Fuck,
this is not what we want."
Yeah.
So moving on.
We don't want
Arcane Studios, the Leon.
The game that gets put on every goddamn showcase.
I'm actually really surprised. I didn't know it was this close to release. I'm probably gonna hold out to Black Friday and wait for the price drop. Because it's so close to Black Friday, I might as well wait.
And honestly, Deathloop, like by the time Deathloop came out, is that a time travel kind of game?
It's like a
time looping game.
It's a time looping game. They're stuck in the same day.
Okay, because there's been a bunch of those lately.
It's basically all you need is kill, but
but it's just that we got a bunch of those lately between like that whatever that Skyrim mod was, the Forbidden City or something that people liked, and the 12 minutes.
Yeah, or the game Minute.
I was thinking of like Returnal too. That was like for the PS5.
Yeah.
right.
From that, there's just been a lot of time looping stuff lately that Deathloop
To be
has to
fair,
really
Deathloop's
stand
been in
out.
development a
But
while, but
yeah,
I know.
we also saw Radiohead is involved in
yeah.
development.
I
of the
remember
game.
Radiohead as a
Yeah,
small
the
child.
band people probably don't listen to anymore. I mean, maybe they still do. People in there like who are older, but yeah, one of their albums, Kid Amnesia Exhibition, or Kid Amnesia, I think is the name of the album, but this is called Kid Amnesia Exhibition, which is based off their album concept, is being made into a game in collaboration with Epic Games. I didn't really see anything. It was like a teaser trailer, and I didn't see anything about it. It looked like really eerie, but that's about all I could tell you. Like, maybe it's a horror, maybe it's psychological. I can't tell.
It's trippy, and this is like somebody in Epic personally wanted
Really
this
likes
because
Radiohead. No, I think,
like I
somebody
mean
from
I still
Radiohead
like
was like
Radiohead back then.
somebody in Radiohead was. I think the band was just like, yeah, let's make a game, and I guess they went through with it. But Alkeb is like an indie developer from the looks of it. I think they're in. I think this indie is being published by Sony Interactive. It's called Chia. Like, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Like Chia Pet?
Yeah, kind of like a Chia Pet looks how it's kind of spelled. But it reminds me of like a Double Fine game kind of adventure. Its graphics like remind me of like kind of like Broken Age or something. But it looks very like Western cartoony. And there's a lot of exploration and adventure going on. It looks pretty. Like, it looks like a good, comfy game. Naughty Dog still on that remake or remaster binge. They are remastering Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy for some reason.
I mean, if you haven't played them yet, then that's fine. But
they were like the end of the console generation for PS4, basically. It's
pretty
so
much,
redundant.
yeah.
Which makes them an easy project to remake.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Grand Theft Auto just will not just keeps kind of getting remastered all the fucking time.
It just feels like they don't know the direction right now. Like they know they've beaten Uncharted into
they have like Uncharted's finished.
And they know that Last of Us, they can't just keep making them. It's so story driven that like it makes no sense. But they don't know what the new IP should be yet, I think. And I think they need a new IP. I wouldn't have any idea what direction they should go though, because I think we're all very tired of the cinematic adventures from Naughty Dog, and we would like to come back to like a platformer or an action game. That's
the thing is, PlayStation is kind of leaning towards wanting to make the big budget cinematic game.
They're AAA.
But
the only reason Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is technically an anime game, has like the promotion that it does is because it doesn't really look like an anime game. It looks like it looks like a more style, like an anime stylized, but still kind of realistic AAA game.
You can still do that and still have more engaging gameplay than the recent Naughty Dog games, in my opinion. Like, I thought Horizon was cinematic, but at the same time you had open world exploration, you had survival. It was still keeping me more engaged than like going down this like restricted hallway with a couple zombies scripted here.
It's still like a game at the end of the day. It's not just an interactive cutscene movie like Sony's other stuff.
Yeah, and maybe doing the remakes will just kind of give them like a buffer time as they try to figure out.
That's what I think is going on.
Yeah, it's a buffer time. It's honestly, it's for them get used to the PS5 engine, and again, it's just trying to figure out what do we want to do next.
Yeah, that's a good reason to really kind of gauge the PS5 capabilities. And what might even be interesting is if they can't come up with something, maybe pick up a series that's been dropped by PlayStation Studios. Like what if they took a whack at an Infamous game? Like, what if they took a whack at like Killzone?
Oh, that'd
be interesting.
If they did bring back Infamous, please ditch that. I mean, I know it's in the title, but please ditch that morality system. Because I recently looked up
that was like the big kind of thing about it.
It was so badly executed in all the other scenes. Like, I actually looked up. I recently looked up the evil ending in Infamous Second Son. That evil ending makes no
Second
sense.
Son, it was rougher. Like Second
Yes.
Son was more rewarding gameplay, but
Like-
not the story was at all.
I know, like
I
the
thought it
evil
worked
options
in
were just
Infamous
so.
1.
The evil storyline was just so bad in Second Son. I was
Infamous
like,
1,
what
I
the?
think it worked, but I didn't play 2, so I don't know. But
2 wasn't bad.
It wasn't terrible. At least it was kind of cool how like you had these two females who was like the good one and the evil one, but there's a twist with them at the end.
yeah,
That was kind of cool. But at the same time, though, it was still like Infamous's morality system has always been shit.
But again, you're right. It would be interesting how Naughty Dog would kind of make that into a more cinematic game, or just
there's a lot of
there's a
IP
lot
they
of stuff
do
they
with
can
it.
pull out from the Sony.
But at the end of the day, that's a sucker punch thing.
So Insomniac unveiled like a really big IP. So they came out and showed a trailer for Wolverine, and I like did not see it coming. I was so hyped. Like an hour ago, I was so hyped.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still have to see the gameplay, but I do.
Yeah,
think
we didn't see
Wolverine
anything
game.
yet, but I think I'm gonna go in with like rose-tinted glasses on this one and just be like, I think it's gonna be awesome. Because I at this point I trust Insomniac with superhero games. So,
Yeah.
Well,
So
I need
hope-
to see them do more than Spider-Man before
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
that. But
But
I
I mean,
do.
going from Spider-Man to Wolverine,
I think that should be easier
yeah, that's
because
kind of like a drop.
that's just more like doing more more action based compared to like Spider-Man when you have to kind of stage the whole.
Mechanically, I feel like Spider-Man's harder to code than or develop
guess.
than Wolverine.
Just
But-
claw people.
Yeah.
Yeah, compared to jumping
Yeah.
on buildings and
Hell,
stuff.
they
Yeah.
can make it a stealth
Yeah.
Wolverine game. That'd be cool
Like-
as shit too.
I don't,
I guess.
I don't remember. Well, I guess Wolverine did do 1 or 2 stealth things, but no, you got healing factors. You pull out your
Yeah.
claws, then you put your custom Xbox soundtrack to
Make
your
some
Wolverine
points of
game.
interest. Just hit up bars and just get into bar fights.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm really hyped for that. And we also saw Spider-Man 2, and we saw
Oh, yeah.
Venom make a cameo, which
Yeah,
would be
I'm-
really cool if they actually change perspectives in the middle of the game or like in
Right.
certain parts where you
Have you-
play as Venom.
Yes, I would.
that would
like
be
to.
fun.
Which
Although,
I think was
I-
how it worked in Spider-Man 2, the game on PS2. I think you could switch to Venom. Or there was a Venom
No,
version.
They're like
no,
Venom
Venom
stick.
Venom wasn't in Spider-Man 2 on that because Venom wasn't introduced to Spider-Man 3 in the movie timeline.
Well, no, the
So-
games did not
Oh,
follow
you're-
the
you're-
movies at all.
Wait, I think you're thinking he's not thinking of the Spider-Man movies
No, I'm
with
talking about the
Toby.
games.
I think like Web of Shadow or
But he said PS2, and I think in Web Shadows like PS3 and such.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
But
'cause-
there's been so
be
many Spider-Man games, but I know what
Spider-Man
you're
lore.
talking about because
Yeah.
you get to play as like
It was like-
Venom and you can eat
Spider-Man
people.
2 is-
yeah, that's the one where Neil Patrick Harris voiced Peter Parker. I remember that.
Oh wow. Oh, there's a new Spider-Man movie coming out too. That's No Way Home. Yes.
Yes, I'm kind of excited for
I'm
it.
thinking,
a
of,
meme.
I'm thinking of Ultimate Spider-Man for the PS2.
Oh, Ultimate
which
Spider-Man,
didn't
okay, that
correspond to any of the movies.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just
It was
hey, let's
just-
make a
They
Spider-Man
had
game.
a Spider-Man version, then they had a Venom version.
Yeah. I gotta say though, it's getting kind of weird to see Miles Morales being called Spider-Man when the original Spider-Man still exists. And
I
I'm
think that's
like,
cool.
dude,
Yeah.
dude, just
Do
come
we
up with a new name. It doesn't make any sense for you to
Yeah.
be called Spider-Man as well.
Neo Spider.
I know-
Spider
Spider-Man
Boy. I don't
Kuro.
know. Something else.
I know.
It's very confusing. Just
I
yeah,
mean, I know you
weird
can't just, I know you
new
can't, I
name.
know you don't want to call him like Black Spider-Man or
Oh,
something
maybe.
for obvious reasons. It's like, but it's like, especially
We already
since
have
he
like
didn't-
Black Widow. That we can't
Especially-
go with Black Widow. That's already
Yeah, yeah, especially since he didn't get the black
Yeah.
suit until later, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't have made that much sense anyways.
Tarantula. Like there's so many other spider names.
No,
Yeah.
just call him Spider-Man because Peter Parker's going to retire.
But not in that game. The both Spider-Man are in that game, so it's like hello Spider-Man and Spider-Man. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
do you want to have like Spider-Man of Spanish Harlem and you have Spider-Man at Greenwich Village?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, we need
Yeah.
to assign you a different
Yes.
district to
Um,
Spider-Man over.
So, Sony Interactive, we saw Gran Turismo 7. I'm not a racing game fan, so for me, it looked
Yeah.
nice, but I won't play it probably.
yeah.
I'm kind of excited because I was big into Gran Turismo back in PS2 era.
I was more into
Well-
the popcorn racing games like Need for Speed, but
No, you gotta like spend hours adjusting your suspension to do a 60-lap endurance run on
Oh my
the
God.
Nürburgring. That takes like 5 hours, by the way.
Oh my God.
Anyway, no, it looks good. I'm not sure how like race game simulations are going to last because, like you said, people like the Horizon, Forza Horizon, kind of like popcorn, easy racing games.
If it doesn't have bananas and green shells in it, I don't know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fair. But hey, if you like racing games, Gran Turismo for simulation is really good.
It's good for Gran Turismo games because the last one
does look really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, was it Gran Turismo Sport? I don't remember which.
Yeah, something like that.
And they made it like half VR game too, and it was kind of like nobody wanted it. So Santa Monica, we finally got some looks at God of War Ragnarok. That's probably not coming for a while, like 2023, I imagine, but it looks really good, and we got to see a little bit of gameplay. Yeah, I'm excited. So, honestly, we saw so much. We didn't see Horizon, but I'm not too worried. They had so much to show that I wasn't very disappointed at it. So,
that's going to be
a very successful showcase. Yeah, it was good. They didn't go to E3 and got this ready. So,
I definitely thought that the fat Thor that was like a meme, or that was like a Photoshop or something, but that's the official.
I watched the showcase late, and I kept seeing Fat Thor on Twitter, and I'm like, what the fuck is this about? I don't understand. And
that's the actual.
Now I know, but I was like, I just didn't get it. All right. Any other news, y'all?
I guess quick thing. WarioWare Get It Together was released this past week.
Yeah, I saw.
I've been playing it. It's not bad. I actually like it. It's automatically 10 out of 10 because I thought we would never get another Wario.
Co-op?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to get Aaron to play. But
good luck.
One thing I did realize is each character has their own gimmick to doing the micro games.
Oh.
And some characters just suck for certain micro games. So
like real life.
Yes. Like not everybody's gonna be skilled.
Okay. So we have some upcoming Dallas Anime Meetup events.
There's a lot coming up. Yeah.
Quite a bit, yeah. So Mid-Autumn Festival at Asia Times Square, September 17th through the 19th. So go and have fun that weekend if you're interested. We have our September anime discussion, which is Akudama Drive on September 25th, already full.
Yeah.
So,
I think that was just finalized today. We just found out that's the winner.
So if you're not signed up already, you'll be on the wait list. You may get in, so give it a shot. The Hatsune Miku online watch. There is not an attendance limit on this one. It's the same day as the anime discussion meetup, but it is later at night, so they have time to get home and chill out and get ready for the online watch. So that is September 25th as well. Dallas Anime Meetup for Ghost Hunting is White Rock
sold out
already
of tickets.
Already full, sold out of tickets. So even if you're waitlisted on that one, you have no chance because there's no more tickets unless you buy them black market
from someone else.
Yeah,
or from someone else.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Cosplay karaoke night is also waitlisted.
That was just posted today.
It's not that long, so you might be able to get on.
Yeah.
So
and also
October 23rd.
Yeah, I'm not sure we should really talk about the camping things. Details are still being finalized, and there's not and we haven't decided if Kayla wants to make that an official meetup or just like
so if it is an official.
Yeah, we'll just say tentative. It's something that's possibly happening in the future.
Yeah, so if it's an official meetup, we will post it. If not, you can always find unofficial meetups here and there on our Discord channel, which is on the meetup group page. Does anybody have anything else?
Maria's doing another D&D one shot coming up.
Yeah, that's right. That's like every 2 weeks at this point, right?
Pretty much. She's looking to do maybe more long shot ones, but she kind of only reliably has Friday nights off. So we would also want to do
mean, that
that
makes
on Friday
sense.
nights off, but it's hard to find other people that would be reliably to have it. But if
Yeah.
you have a Friday night off and are interested in doing a 4 to 5 session D&D campaign,
it
let us
makes sense. Like that, like everyone's schedules, you know.
know. It's crazy though. Around this
Maybe we
time.
should hire RK. Oh wait.
Right. maybe I don't think I'll be calling up him for any advice or anything, but so far
Alright.
Maria's sessions have been going pretty good, and
That's cool.
yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard they're
We like our
successful.
D&D here.
We're hoping eventually we'll be able to do it in person again, but for now it's all just online. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Well then, thanks everybody for joining us. Hopefully there won't be as big of a gap next episode, but we're getting into the holiday season, so it's hard to say.
That's
And
rough.
with all the disasters and COVID, who knows? But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
Bye.
have a good one.